Hello, I am here with a bottle of Angel's Envy because some of you guys might remember a couple of years ago now during one of the lockdowns, I did do a little Angel's Envy drink from the comfort of my own kitchen because that's all we could do at that point. But they're doing basically the same campaign again and it's a pretty fun one and makes heaps of sense obviously for them being a bourbon because bourbon has to be aged in new barrels every time. So, you know, a lot of oak trees get used in the production of bourbon. What they're doing is every time someone uses the hashtag toast the trees on social media, so whichever one you fancy, Instagram or Facebook I think, then they will plant an oak tree over in Kentucky to kind of help make sure that that's a nice and, you know, sustainable thing that they're doing. So using the barrels but planting the trees. And I figure, yeah, that's a pretty good thing to get behind. So I thought that I would make a little drink using it and just encourage you guys to get involved, drinking a little bit of Angel's Envy and hashtag toasting the trees. Now, I'm gonna have a little taste because to be honest, it's been a minute since I actually tried it, and then I'm just gonna try and kind of work through the flavors that I want to match it with. So I don't actually know what I'm gonna make yet. I think I'm almost certainly gonna do a stir down. It's like the last drink of the day, so you know, something a little bit kind of boozy and punchy. But other than that, we'll see what I feel like it's gonna match with. Ooh. So Angel's Envy is a little bit different because it's actually aged finished in export barrels. So, you know, obviously a lot of bourbon is literally just your sort of new American oak. So really sort of vanilla and, you know, white chocolate and a lot of those kind of cinnamon vibes. This definitely has a little bit of that as well, but it does have that kind of bit more fruitiness from the fortified wine influence as well. Yep, super juicy and fruity and kind of spicy. I actually have a little bottle of port with me here. We were making another port drink earlier with actually the white port, but I brought its sibling, the ruby port, and that is the same kind of port as what that's aged in. So I reckon popping those two together to sort of bring out that aspect of it is going to be a fun time. And then I think I always find Peychaud's has a little kind of almost like cherry sort of vibe. And I think that again is going to kind of underpin all of that quite nicely. So basically thinking a little kind of porty Manhattan, but let's add all of those together and then I'll have another little taste in a straw and see if it's missing anything. So this is sort of usually how I go about cocktail making. I don't honestly usually kind of reinvent the wheel. I'm not someone that tends to come up with really crazy flavor profiles or anything like that. But yeah, always fun just to try mixing a few different things and see how it comes out. So this is actually a little 40-20 ml jigger. So I'm just gonna go 40 mils of the Angel's Envy and then 20 mils of the port. So kind of classic Manhattan ratio, but just using the port instead of vermouth. And then we'll go a couple of dashes of Peychaud's. Such a good color. That's pretty yummy as is, to be honest. Obviously very kind of red fruited and kind of red curranty and jammy almost. But I feel like let's just do a little tiny accent of coffee liqueur just because I think it's gonna work really well with those, yeah, kind of cinnamon, nutmeg, sort of baking spice and vanilla that's in the bourbon. And just make it something a little bit different. This is like a massive bottle of Mr. Black, so excuse the awkwardness of handling it. So I've just literally done a little 5 or 10 mils. I'm almost using it more as like, yeah, almost as you would a bitters or something, just to, as I said, add a little kind of je ne sais quoi. Yeah, yum. I think that's gonna work rather nicely. And then I reckon for this one, we'll go a little orange peel. It's probably, yeah, not exactly groundbreaking, but it's obviously just gonna pull all of those flavors that we're working with together. And I'm just gonna keep that pretty rustic there actually, because as I said, last drink of the day, this is basically my knockoff, so minimal effort, I think. Just a couple of big cubes in there. Like the little red and yellow combo, and it kind of, you know, matches my my dress a little bit as well. Hits the spot, real kind of rich and pretty decadent, and I feel like I've deserved it after a whole day of filming. So cheers. So now you know.